So normally when I'm stood here filming in like the kitchen, I'm doing it for the other channel, but I thought why not film right now because I'm a bit pressed for time, and why would you not want to see me make wraps? Okay, basically I wanted to talk about why I'm motivated all the time, because I get the question, and like obviously from this channel it might seem like all the time I have this crazy motivation to do all this stuff, when in reality I just sit scrolling through Instagram like everyone else. But I have come prepared. I have some notes, and I'm going to need to keep flicking through the recipe and the notes because I didn't think this through. And I want to talk about things that I do that try to keep me motivated, because if you don't know, I'm in the middle of mocks and I can't be asked. So the reason why we're in the kitchen is because I have the task of making some lower carb wraps for our dinner tonight. We want to try out this new recipe for the membership that we do. Basically, if you haven't seen me before, then hi, my name's Ella. I'm an A-level student, but I also run a business with my dad where we help others live a keto lifestyle like us. And if you don't know what that is, that's a low carb lifestyle basically. And so we're constantly trying out new recipes, and this is one of them. This is what I call making use of time in the best way possible, because I have a lot of revision to do whether I like it or not, and the last thing I need to be doing is sitting and filming, because when I'm sat and filming, although like the video is like 10 minutes, it takes me like an hour because I just sit there and like stare off into space. So if I actually have something to do, hopefully it'll speed up the process. Okay, so I need coconut flour, baking powder and xanthan gum. I hate, this is why we need to like test all the recipes, because they're all in American like tablespoons. Who measures in tablespoons? Okay, so whilst I'm trying to weigh out tablespoons, yes, it makes sense in my mind. The first thing that I do that tries to that helps me keep motivated on a daily basis. So obviously I'm not motivated all the time, but one of the things I do is listen to a lot of podcasts, and that seems to help me, and it obviously depends on what podcast you listen to, but I like to listen, okay, so a tablespoon is 11 grams, so I'll do 10, so 50 grams, sorry. I like to listen to Gary Vee a lot. If you haven't heard him speak, he it's an acquired taste. He says like a lot of people when they first hear him don't like him. However, I didn't find that, to be honest. I've always found it really easy to listen to a lot of his stuff. So I download hours of his podcast to listen to at school. And the reason why is because it is really, like the way he talks is like really motivating. It gets you pumped up. Even if it's more about entrepreneurship, and it goes on to the other points later on. It means that even when I'm at school and I'm maybe not feeling motivated about the work, I'm feeling motivated about something else, and that sometimes carries me through. So I get that drive of, oh, I want to build this business or whatever, and then that gets me through. Say if you're not feeling motivated in a particular job or whatever it is, if you find podcasts that are about them, it could remind you of your why. And obviously I've talked about, I think it's in a video like titled "When You're Feeling Unmotivated." I talk about I needed to find my why for A Levels, and I'm still struggling. Someone asked, how do I stay motivated when I know what I'm doing isn't necessarily going to help me in the future? And what they mean by that is I want to become an entrepreneur and build my own business, and basically do what I'm doing now with my dad, but as a full-time thing. I just do it in and around school at the moment. I can't reach the end of the laptop. So that means that on first glance, the A-levels that I'm studying, which are maths, further maths, art and English lit, won't exactly help me build a business. However, the more, I know that maybe some things might randomly pop up and be like, oh, I actually did need that. But it's more about my work ethic. So those subjects help me kind of get used to the fact that I just need to sometimes just get through times that I don't really like. So mock season, I would rather not be revising, but those subjects are teaching me the work ethic to get through. Unfortunately, I think you'll see a bit of a recurring theme here, and it's I'm just waiting to finish school. So one of the reasons, unfortunately, that I am quite motivated at the moment is because I know mocks are over soon, so that's making me motivated because I know it's only a temporary feeling. And I like that a lot. If you feel a bit down in the dumps, and if you feel, say like GCSEs, if you're feeling really, really unmotivated because you just have all of this work to do, then just remind yourself that it's temporary. You know, in a month's time it's all going to be over, and you know, you'll be happy and doing whatever you want to do with your life. Which I sometimes found daunting, because when I broke up for my 12 weeks, I literally floated around for like 2 weeks going, so what do I do with my life? I don't actually know. So I suppose the work ethic that I was talking about with those subjects is, although I might not want to be right in, you know, in the school library revising, I make the most of where I am. I don't have a choice, I have to be in that library. So I might as well do something and not just wallow in self-pity. I am very, very grateful of the position that I'm in terms of schools and the fact that you can even get an education. So I'm just making the most of everything, really. And I suppose that is the attitude to have, rather than, and I still get it sometimes, you know, you're just like, I just cannot be asked. I'm just going to sit here on my phone and do nothing because I can't be asked to do anything else. I get that too. In fact, I had that period 5 today. After my further maths exam, I didn't want to go to the library and do more maths, so I literally just, I don't know what I did. I just like sat there. I did some work, but you know, I was never going to be ultimately productive and really motivated in that period 5 because I was quite drained from an exam. Oh, we love challenges, don't we? We're out of eggs, and I don't know how this household is out of eggs. We literally buy them 60 at a time. We get like crates of them, because we do so much baking and stuff with the recipes, but we're out of eggs. Okay, so I'm not just going to talk about school here, because that's not the only aspect of my life, even though that's... Why does this always happen to me? There's a hole in the... Okay, get out. I've just spilt egg replacement all over my hand. We love an organised video, don't we? So another aspect of my life is obviously what I'm doing here. The business. Well, I'm not exactly doing the business here, I'm making the recipes for the business, but you get the point. I need a teaspoon. Okay, so the reason why I'm so motivated in that aspect of my life, so I don't show this part of my life, and I will start doing more of it, but basically when I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm more than likely doing business work. I need to make it more of a priority of just having downtime, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really have that much, because my downtime is this stuff, because this isn't work to me. Trying new recipes for clients is not work to me, because I love what I do. So that's the point. Motivation comes from a love for whatever it is. So my motivation for the business comes from the fact that I absolutely love doing everything that we do. Oh, okay, that's a bit too much. Oh my god, I'm a mess. I'm an actual mess. Right, as if this video couldn't be any more of a mess, the battery just died. So I don't know where it cut off, but I was talking about fitness, I think, and I suppose the motivation from that comes from the results. So not only physical results, but also mental. I know that when I do a workout, I feel much better about myself, mentally, physically, emotionally. Everything just gets that little bit easier. I might need to add some more water. I've made this before as well. We just wanted to double check the recipe, but we used an egg last time and not powder. So another thing, I'm basically just listing why I'm productive, if you can't already tell from this video, but I think this one is quite important. I like the feeling of being productive. I have the moments where I procrastinate, but generally when I'm trying to like get stuff done or whatever, I try to make the most of my time. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that I like using my time effectively. So I don't like empty space of time. Even when I'm sat procrastinating, I'm like, yeah, I want to go do something now. So I think enjoying the feeling of being productive and the feeling of getting stuff done, because I like what I'm doing, so it all links together. But finding things that you enjoy to do and that you feel happy about spending a lot of your time on, that's what's going to keep you motivated. So if you're not feeling motivated about school, which I understand because I'm in the same position now, I try to make it better for myself by trying to make it as enjoyable as possible. I know, it might sound paradoxical, you can't make school enjoyable, whatever, But I try to use revision techniques that I like to do. I'm not one to sit and write just paragraphs and paragraphs. I like to make mind maps, I like to be creative with my work. So I find things that mean that when I'm sitting down and doing it, I'm not hating life whilst I'm revising. Even though it can be a bit of a struggle to initially get started, once I get started, I get that drive of motivation to carry on. Okay, that's sticking together. Okay, I think we've got somewhere. Last thing I wanted to say is that being 100% honest, I feel like I've always had a drive to do something. Like I said, I enjoy being productive and I enjoy making a really good use of my time. That doesn't mean every single day I have a drive to do, the work that I have set. In fact, I still have things that I haven't done because I can't be bothered. And I need to get around to doing them, so I'll put them on a list. That's another thing. Making a list makes me more productive and more motivated to do my work because I set it out and be like, right, okay, if I do it at 11, then it means by lunch I'll have it done, and that makes me motivate a bit more. So yes, some people find it easier to be motivated, but everyone has different areas of their life that they're more motivated. So my dad is definitely more motivated than me when it comes to fitness, because he goes out, runs 20 miles a weekend, and just that's nothing. But for me, I have tried to go out running. Have I? No. Okay, so I think I am succeeding with these wraps. Time will tell because they haven't been cooked yet. Hopefully I've stayed on track. I think I've covered everything. I've covered everything on my notes list because I am prepared. I'm not at all. This is why I'm filming whilst making stuff. I really hope this video has been useful. I hope that this style of video was okay. Normally I know I do more sit down stuff, but do you know what? We fancied a change. So let me know how this has been. I will probably make more exciting things in the future if I do. I was planning on making brownies, but Dad made them yesterday, so I couldn't have that excuse, unfortunately. So I'm going to end this video here. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope that whatever you're going through right now, whether it's GCSEs, A Levels, mocks like me, hopefully you can find some source of motivation, and maybe you can relate to some of the things that I've said today, and leave some ideas in the comments of how else you can motivate yourself, because I need motivation. I know people think that I'm very motivated, and I know this probably is quite hypocritical considering I've just made a video about how I stay motivated. But yeah, we're always looking for more solutions. So thank you so much for watching. That was like a blur of words, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!